Alrighty folks, coming at you guys today with some version 1.4.5 patch notes. They finally released them. These are coming out April 8th, so this coming Tuesday, 7 a.m. Don't expect too much server downtime for this one because these are some kind of small notes. Basically, they split what was going to be a massive version 1.4. whatever balance patch into two, because we got version 1.4.4's balance patch 2 Tuesdays ago. You can check out those patch notes and my breakdown of them. I'll put the thumbnail up here and link them in the description. But now we've got version 1.4.5. Looks like not too many crazy changes, some nice improvements between the minimap and some jungle objective changes. We've got a fair amount of hero balances and just a couple item changes. So let's dive right into this, give you guys a shorter one here if we can, and knock these out, give you guys the information you need. So here's a brief synopsis of what we got other than some hero and item balance changes. We've got Discord integration improvements. Also, I should say I haven't read through all of this, so this is my first reaction to these as well. But we've got Discord integration improvements, game server location changes, in-game tips, which, come on, like, we don't need those, let's be honest. Minimap updates, which do look pretty exciting, and anti-toxicity measures. We will see if those actually help in any way curb the massive amount of toxicity that occurs in this game. New skins first off here. This Muriel skin does look pretty cool, to be fair. This Grim skin actually looks pretty cool too, so don't mind those. Some new bundles for those skins. So let's get into the actual changes here. Discord integration improvements. We've been thrilled by your positive feedback on Discord integration. The Discord integration has been great. Been loving the game chat, cross-platform. Being able to talk to all the PC guys from PlayStation has been really nice. Helps in ranked games a lot too, to coordinate with your team. You can now link your Discord account to unlock expanded chat functionality. This allows you to send and receive private messages from your Discord friends even when you're outside of the game. You'll also be able to message your party as early as the queue or reach out to individual players directly. Nice. So this is, I like all this. And then coming soon, linked Discord accounts in the future will also let you import your Discord friends directly into your predecessor friends list. Okay, I mean, I don't know if that's really super crucial there, but we will take it. Game server location changes. A long-awaited changes finally arrived. As of April 8th, NA East and NA West servers will merge into a single server location, NA Central. That's nice. It helps for matchmaking, helps for a bigger player base to matchmake into. This means no longer splitting our North American player base and potentially shorter queue times. Count us in. Yeah, count me in. I'll take some shorter queue times. Play with one of the 13 total people that are playing in NA West. Also been confirmed OCE servers with locations in Australia are staying permanently. Great, great. That's all good. In-game tips, we might as well just skip over this whole paragraph because the whole problem with in-game tips and the whole tips page is onboarding people is traditionally hard in MOBAs anyway, and I don't think people are really even using that tips tab to figure out how to play. Maybe this will help a couple new players figure out what they're doing if they're coming from Marvel Rivals, but you know, this game's only for so many people, you know, you know what I mean? Minimap updates. Now we get into some exciting stuff here. If you've been following our social channels, you might be aware that we've been working towards a minimap redesign to improve overall visibility. The first iteration of these changes will be introduced in this patch. Okay, let's see what they look like. Increased lane visibility. Objectives are now marked with the color of the buff they provide, making them easier to identify. Okay. A new outline helps the map stand out more clearly. Yeah, I see a thicker outline there. Increased minimap size makes icons and pings easier to see and interpret. Okay. So this is what it looks like. More solid. A lot more solid, a lot more brightly colored. I like the little player indicator. Can we click in on this? Yeah, this looks good. This looks good for sure. We'll see it in game and see what it looks like, but I like the look. I'm fine with the old minimap. I'm used to it, but we'll take a more defined one for sure. Toxicity, more tweaks have been done. for in-game, for our anti-toxicity measures. Hopefully you'll see the toxicity will become less prevalent with this update. As always, if you witness undesirable behavior in the game, please let us know about it through the in-game reporting system. I do that pretty frequently. I feel like it doesn't make a big difference a lot of times, but I still do it because there are some people that, I mean, I'm fine if you want to dog out your team and stuff and talk about how good you are and try to boost your ego through typing rather than playing. But when you're like intentionally throwing and stuff like that, it kind of gets old. Gameplay balance changes. Fixed an issue with various item effects and ability damage instance would unintentionally draw minion and tower aggro. They should all draw minion and tower aggro, right? Item effects and ability damage instances, like on heroes, they should all draw tower and minion aggro. Death timers. Massive paragraphs here. We're not going to read them to save you guys some time. Death timers have been too short. If we're being realistic, the pace of the game is so fast now that you really don't even have time to get jungle objectives or push lanes if you take out multiple people, especially early. So let's see what they've done. Death timers at levels 1 through 8. Okay, that's where is the biggest problem, I would say. Increased from 6 scaling to 22 to 7 scaling to 23, so just +1. I think these are seconds, right? They still don't give units on these, but I'm pretty sure these are seconds. 1 second longer, like, I don't know if that really makes a big difference on the death timers, but it's levels 1 through 8. We'll see if this is probably not noticeable, but we'll take any changes. This are overly long. For example, if death timer, yeah, we know it's hard to balance. Yeah, okay, you don't have to give us 3 paragraphs to explain it, but maybe this will, we won't even notice that, let's be honest. Jungle. Alongside some minor durability increases to objectives, provide greater windows to contest. We're pushing back the initial spawn times, respawn times, and reduce global experience. So initial spawn going to 5 minutes. It's almost as if that's what it was before you reduced it. That's weird. Reduced experience by a pretty considerable amount there. Physical armor increased. 1 more per level is not that much, but the health increase is kind of significant. 200 extra starting and extra 50 per level means Fang is going to have a lot of health. By the mid-game, mini orb. Respawn time, a minute longer, that's actually probably noticeable. Experience decreased, kind of slightly. Health increased, slightly per level. Physical armor increased, more level scaling, so yeah. Right there, if you're taking those like 15-minute-ish mini orbs, that's definitely going to be a big difference. With 50 more health per level and an extra armor per level. And then Orb Prime itself, respawn time increased by a minute as well. Damage increased. Okay, pretty sizable damage increase. Carry's not going to be able to solo this, most likely. Physical armor increased by 1 per level as well. So, beefier and slower respawning. Jungle objectives will take it. It seems like most games right now are decided by jungle objectives for the most part, so don't mind this at all. Give us more of a laning phase, if anything. The pace of the game is so fast, it feels like there's almost no laning phase now. And that jungle objectives really decide the game by like the 15-20 minute mark. So, towers. Please tell me towers deal damage now. Please. Just make them deal damage. Man, I don't care. Make them deal double the damage they deal. Just make them deal some damage, man. Gold drop projectile speed increase, so the gold comes out faster. Good. I've had situations where I'm waiting for the gold to drop. Gold drop gravity increased, yep, so they come out faster. Gold drop projectile pitch decrease, so yeah, they come out faster. They come out lower. We'll definitely take that. Outer towers. Bonus armors pre-8 minute decreased. Good. There's no reason for this. Honestly, make this just like 6 minutes. You could leave the armor, just make it a little sooner. Plated segments, bonus armor. While it changed from 10, 25, 40, 55 to 0, 20. Okay, so significantly less bonus armor for them when they have plates. Temporary armor on plate destruction. 2 nearby enemies, heroes. Okay, so more temporary armor when you take down a plate, less total bonus armor for how many plates they have. We do not see damage increases to the towers. Please, Ometa, please. I mean, just make them do some damage, man. I should not be getting dove in my T2 at the 10-minute mark, man. Like, this is crazy. Alright, so that's all the general changes. Let's take a look at these hero balance changes. Looks like there's a fair amount of them. We'll try to go through them quick here. I have a feeling there's not that many actual changes. It's just 1 or 2 per hero because they covered a lot in version 1.4.4. So let's go through them and look at it here. Argus Particle Shredder projectile speed increased. That's cool. That kind of makes Argus easier to use, for sure. I think he's definitely more decent now than he was in version 1.4, so that probably helps him, his usability for sure. Aurora. She's a little too strong, wouldn't be surprised if we're seeing nerfs here. Boreal Sweep. This is the horizontal damage sweep here. Damage decreased by 20 base in the late game, 0 at level 1. Magical power scaling increased, nice, we'll take that. Explosion damage decreased by 10 across all ranks. Ooh, 10 at rank 1 and 50 at rank 5. Wow, that is significant base damage reduction. Explosion magical power scaling increased. So it's fine, they give it a little bit scaling and less damage. So you're still probably leveling this one first, right? I would think on Aurora. But it's going to hit not as hard unless you have a lot of magical power built. So that's fine. Boris, before I even look at these, what are the odds they nerf him again? I'm pretty sure every hero, right, that's been released, at least out of the last 10, get multiple nerfs in a row. They do that on purpose, which is fine. It's just, I know that these are nerfs. Without even reading it, I know that these are nerfs. So physical power decreased by 2 at level 1, health decreased by 25 at level 1, health growth decreased, physical armor decreased, physical armor growth decreased. Okay, so yeah, take down his base stats a little, and then the chrono swipes damage decreased by 5 across all ranks. So yeah, they want to take it down in stages. That's why we saw Terra get nerfed 10 times in a row, because they want to do little nerfs. They don't want to nerf him to oblivion because it's the new hero and they want people playing him. So probably fair balances here. He is a little strong for sure. Countess Eventide improved readability by adjusting the visual FX. Okay, so maybe you'll be able to see Eventide coming better. Drongo gets a little base attack speed increase. And Old Rusty gets a late game damage increase, better scaling, and 2 seconds shorter cooldown across all ranks. Wow, that is crazy. That's going to be a really spammable boomerang. Talk about a nice clear ability. That probably pushes it up over Sparrow's arrows, back returning to Old Rusty being the best carry lane clear ability. Nice, we'll take that. Feng Mao, he's really been struggling recently. Health regeneration increased, physical armor increased, and mana increased at level 1. Maybe that'll help him get better starts. Feng Mao is still a hero that can really spool out of control late game if he gets his passive stacks online, so maybe just some base early game stats will help him. Gadget. Okay, I feel like Gadget's kind of in an okay state here. Enhanced bomb VFX improved to be more noticeable. Okay. Bomb visual size increased by 10%. Hitbox unchanged. Projectiles now spawn at the correct time during the animation rather than immediately. Projectile terrain collision radius decreased. Okay, that's interesting. Targeting visual range decreased. Projectile notified distance decreased. On notified distance, projectile speed multiplier changed. Projectile gravity increased. This is a lot of weird changes. A lot of it's just visual changes. We'll have to see what this looks like in game to really understand what this big concoction of changes looks like with the terrain collision adjustments, targeting range adjustments, and visual effects changes. So we'll see what that looks like in game. Speed gate, projectile now originated slightly higher off the floor when initially fired, better matching its flight path to targeting and reducing the frequency of now it become unintentionally hit floors. I always thought it fired high, not too low. So they're making it fire higher now, or come out of a higher point, I think is interesting. We'll see what that looks like in game. And then seek and destroy nearby hero. Homing speed increased. And homing range increased. Nice, okay. That was a cool thing that they added in 1.4, so I'm glad to see them take it up a little notch here. Just 10% is not a big deal, but it will feel significant, I'm sure. Gideon's been pretty strong as far as 1v1 mid laners go. His passive, enhanced basic attack duration, decreased. Okay, that's not something that made him strong. And then Void Breach cooldown increased by a second. That's probably fair. That's probably fair. It did feel like especially people that start Time Warp, could really spam his abilities out. Greystone, his ultimate. They fixed it. They fixed it. Surely they fixed it. They didn't fix it in the last one. Surely they fixed it. Minimum heal increased. Great. Good. We needed that. Maximum heal increased. Good. We needed that. Cooldown increased. We didn't need that, but well, that's fine. Same at level 1, which is fine. Correct. Now they fixed it. Now correctly removes anti-heal debuff on use. This is what they touted before the 1.4 patch, and now it is actually fixed. Now correctly heals Greystone for a higher amount when at values lower than 30% max health. Great. That was one of the big problems too. Health restored amount now updates correctly in the in-game ability description. Great. They fixed it. Greystone's back, boys. Greystone is 100% back. I'm looking forward to using that starting Tuesday for sure. Crux, we don't want to nerf him for sure. We do not want to nerf him because he's too fun to play, so let's make sure we don't do that. Other than that, just leave him broken. Just let him win like solo lane matchups for free, and just make sure that that's still the case, because we need a hero at least for Marvel Rivals players to play. Smash and grab primary channel time to reach maximum distance increased. Thank goodness, that was way too... 1 second is crazy. Hitbox now correctly matches the in-world decal and no longer 100 and... Okay, so it was actually... That's why it seemed like it was grabbing you even when you were out of it. Because you would see the on-ground indicator, and you're like, oh, I'm clear of it, and then it would still grab you. It was actually reaching 150 units further than intended. And it had a 1 second. So yeah, this makes the pull a lot more balanced. His healing is still overpowered, his bleed still overpowered, but at least the smash and grab is not overpowered. Oh, I just clicked on Howie accidentally. Howie? Howie's been really strong, has been one of the top win rate mid laners since the patch. Make It Rain, the ult total damage decrease. Slightly, yeah, because the damage per missile decrease. This is fine. The ult did hit kind of absurdly hard, especially like they say right at level 6. Yeah, his level 6 spike is really strong. He can ult you at level 6 and pretty much win every time. Iggy, he's too fun to play. We need to nerf him. Oil Spill, burn damage magical power scaling per instance increased. So more tick damage from the Oil Spill. Molotov burn total magical power scaling increased as well to 60, so they're giving damage back to his Oil Spill and Molotov. And then his ult total damage increased. Oh no, y'all remember what happened last time they did this. Oh no, dude. Alright, yeah, so Iggy nerf inbound. Starting Tuesday, a Iggy nerf will be inbound because last time they did this, last time they took up his ult damage, he was way too strong and they had to nerf him hard in the next patch, harder than he was prior to their buffs. So, yeah, Iggy going to be definitely a threat here, definitely nerfs inbound starting April 8th at 7 a.m. Chimera, he is too strong. I will admit, check out my recent Chimera video. I've been just going absolutely crazy with Chimera. Man, he's on another level right now for sure. Healing per stack changed. from 0.5 scaling up to 8 to 0.6 scaling up to 7.25. That is a pretty big nerf in the late game for sure. But by then you should have like Omnivamp or Lifesteal online, so it's not that big of a deal. A little bit stronger at some of the early game levels, just the first two. So that's fine. I think that's probably reasonable. Unleash, cooldown increased to 4 seconds late game instead of 3 seconds. That's pretty reasonable too, because you pretty much always had Unleash up right now. Lieutenant Bellica. Yeah, who would have guessed they're going to nerf for auto attacks, right? They have to, man. Physical power decreased by 1. Health decreased by 10. Basic attack time increased by 0.05. Not a huge change. Void Bomb damage decreased as well by 10 across all ranks. Not a big deal. Her auto attack scaling is still absolutely absurd. One of the best carries right now for sure. If you can make it work with your support. Morigesh. Attack speed growth increased by a significant amount. Her passive max health damage increased slightly, and magical power scaling increased slightly as well. Wow, that's interesting. Hive. Magical power scaling increased. Cooldown decreased. Wow. Projectile speed increased. Projectile gravity increased. Just slightly. Projectile notified distance increased. On notified distance, projectile gravity multiplier decreased. Should be easier to hit. I mean, if it's moving faster, it's probably going to be more predictable. It's also getting more damage in a shorter cooldown, so that's quite strong. And then the mark, scaling increase on the mark as well. Morigesh is still kind of a noob stomper for the most part. She can get out of control with her healing abilities, but not impactful at high ranks. Brings no CC other than a slow. So just kind of an okay. Still going to be really strong with executes. I definitely see her passive in combination with these receiving more scaling, potentially being a problem on those Orb of Growth Morigesh builds that tend to get out of control late game. Murdoch. Bonus physical power scaling decreased from 100% to 90. I was wondering why he's the only auto attacker with 100% scaling. So they're taking him down to 90. That seems kind of reasonable. His auto attacks just hit harder than any other carry for the most part. And then his passive, total physical power scaling decreased. Well, it's the same late game. Oh, no, it's not. It scales to 70, and now it's only scaling to 55. Okay, so his passive taking a big hit, and his actual general auto attacks taking a big hit. This will probably take Murdoch down a notch. He's still just a really good utility carry for sure, with the knockback, the root mines, and the move speed. Muriel. Shield's getting decreased again. And cooldown increased on Consecrated Ground. Wow. Another nerf for Muriel for sure. Shield decreased on the speed up ability as well by 20 at late game. And ultimate shield decreased as well by 40 at late game. But the scaling increased a little bit to make up for it. So more nerfs to Muriel. She is strong for sure. Narbash. Let's nerf him because he's too fun to play. Healing decreased by 1. Base, ally healing decreased by 2, of course, because it's double. And then his ult damage reduction decreased. Yep. We gotta take Narbash down a notch. He's too easy and too fun to play, so for sure nerf him. Revenant, I feel like Revenant almost deserves a nerf right now. He seems really strong. Missing health damage per level increased. Okay, that's on his ult, right? Or not on his ult, on his just autos. Hellfire rounds is the reload button. And then Reckoning slow duration increased. So actually some pretty decent buffs for Revenant. Definitely Revenant probably stepping into a strong position. So I feel like he's already pretty good right now. Sevrog. Siphon. Bonus health scaling decreased to 2.5. Magical power scaling increased. So You really shouldn't be building magical power anyway on Sevarog, but if you are, you get more damage, and if you're not, you get less damage, so that's kind of fair, right? Steel, physical armor decreased. This does not matter. Shield, when you have 250, 300 armor at the end of the game, this 3 armor change right here doesn't matter. And then shield bash damage decreased by 20 at late game. Again, does not matter. That's not what makes Steel's good. Steel's passive, giving him absurd amounts of armor, is what makes him good, if we're being honest. And the fact that he, procs Dynamo with every ability. Twin Blast, bonus physical power scaling increased on Vaporized by 5% and Magical by 5% as well. That's not bad at all. I'll take that. Twin has seemed a little weaker recently for sure. And then cooldown decreased on his Rocket Dash by 2 seconds in the early game. That's nice because you don't want to level Rocket Dash. But when you don't have it leveled and you've got that 18-second cooldown, it's kind of a pain to dash around. So we'll take that. Wraith attack speed decrease. Wraith has been really strong for sure. Attack speed decrease, attack speed growth decrease. He's not reliant on attack speed by any means, but obviously this does hurt him a little bit, just for slower clear purposes. Peekaboo. Cooldown increased in the late game by a second. Max health damage decreased by 1% in the late game. Projectile speed decreased. Okay, that's kind of unfair. It seemed like it was kind of a good movement speed already. Projectile gravity decreased, so that's, to go with that. To keep the range the same. And then projectile radius decreased. Oh no, that's what made him so easy to hit that with. Wow, so yeah, nerfing the grenade heavily here. And then knock damage against minions decreased to 170. Yeah, so pretty big grenade nerfs coming to Wraith. Hate to see it. Wraith did seem a little strong, but you have to be good with him, so it's kind of a fair balance, I felt like. So, I mean, it is what it is. Yin, basic attack time increased, a little bit slower autos at the beginning of the game. And then the Windburn healing, total physical power scaling decreased in the late game by 4% right there, 24 to 20. So that's kind of fair. Yin performs really well at most of the higher ranks right now for sure. Zarus, haven't been seeing Zarus much at all here, so let's see what they've done. Mana growth increased, a significant mana growth increase, 5 extra mana per level, can stack up to a whole extra ability by the mid game. Barricade cooldown decreased, okay, on his shield by 1 second at all ranks, that's fine. And Colosseum cooldown decreased in the early game. I feel like they just increased it. Like, didn't they just increase it like a couple patches ago? So now they're taking it back. That's cool. Zarus Colosseum is what makes him good for sure. Coming both out of jungle and on the solo lane rotates. So interesting. Interesting set of hero changes. Most impactful ones look like Wraith Grenade nerf is pretty significant. Muriel General Shield nerf across her entire kit is pretty significant. Morgesh's Hive will be interesting to see in game. Seems like it should be stronger. Iggy is going to get nerfed. He's definitely overtuned now. Greystone ult fix. That's one of the most impactful ones here for sure. Gadget, we're going to have to see some different visual effects to really understand what all these changes mean. And that's about it for the most significant ones. A lot of minor ones. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about these hero changes. Did your favorite hero get changed? Because there are a fair amount of changes here for sure. Most of them pretty minor. It's really small percent changes. Like Twin is a weaker hero anyway, so I don't know if these changes make him like a super strong hero. I'm sure they don't, but we'll see. So let's move on to item changes. See what they've done with items here. Sanctification. Sanctification shield decreased. It makes sense. They're reducing shields across the board since armor applies to them now. Muriel got hit hard, so Sanctification is going to get hit as well. Silence. Muzzle silence duration decreased. Come on, give me a break, man. If you're willing to take the Silence Relic, make it valuable. 2.5 is a good balance. 2.25 is just getting to that point where it's like, okay, come on. Typhoon, it's too fun. We need to nerf it. It's too unique. Cyclone attack speed per stack magical power scaling decreased from 4 to 3. To be fair, it is overpowered, so I get this, but still a very unique crest. So that's it for the crest. Carry items. Noxian Quiver, lifesteal decreased again. There is a solution to this, like I've said before, Meta. Rather than nerfing these lifesteal and healing items and making people that like building them feel bad, like the items that they're building get weaker, just make anti-heal stronger. Just make anti-heal items better. I mean, it's not that complicated. You don't have to nerf items. The psychology of nerfing an item that people like is definitely more detrimental to the meta than just buffing anti-heal items. Sky Splitter, same boat. These both got healing nerfs in the last patch. Rend melee current health damage decrease. Rend range current health damage decreased as well. Again, with these type of items like Sky Splitter, I would like to see the base, the passive stay the same, if not get stronger, and then the base stats get reduced to make it more fit into its niche. You're building Sky Splitter 4% health damage on high health targets. Give it worse base stats and let it stand out as the item that deals that damage based off their health. We've seen them do this with Megacosm, where they reduce Megacosm's magical power. I think that works better to fit these items into their niches than just nerf them, you know? Or if you're going to nerf it, just take 5% off of its attack speed or something like that. You don't have to do this. Alright, whatever, that's a whole different game balance discussion. Spectra, Radiant Strikes on hit damage decrease. This is literally just because of Bellica, right? Nobody else is building this. Some people may build it first item on like Sparrow, maybe? Anybody else? But this is just purely because of Bellica, right? So a little bit less damage on Spectra is probably reasonable. It's, like I said, this doesn't really affect anybody. I hope you guys aren't building Spectra the majority of games. Basilisk, cost decreased by 100. This is really nice. I think Basilisk is a really good item. Helps a lot of melee heroes stay caught up and stay in melee range, so I appreciate that. Draconum Surge, bonus healing per stack decreased from 2.5 to 2. I don't know, that doesn't really seem... I guess that's kind of reasonable. Again, I would like to see the base stats reduced rather than the unique passive get reduced, right? Overlord Devour stack threshold decreased from 100 to 100, or 150 to 100, so to get that bonus health stack, you only have to get to 100 stacks now, but the bonus stack threshold that you get is only 150 health instead of 200. Rest in peace to the spreadsheet that I made discussing health scaling and stuff. I'm not re-recording it for the third time because they just changed this Overlord patch, or this Overlord stacks thing, but yeah, a little bit, you get the bonus sooner, but it's not quite as strong of a bonus, so that kind of makes sense. Salvation, Aegis Omnivamp decreased. Again, who cares, man? Salvation, it serves a very unique niche item. Nerf its base stats. 2% Omnivamp, I don't care. Like, that's a really insignificant thing, just on its passive that procs kind of infrequently, maybe once per fight, right? But nerf its base stats and maybe actually buff this to 15% or something cool like that would be nice to see. Combustion, very popular mage item. Pyro, magical power scaling increased 15 to 18. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Make its passive stronger, and if you want to nerf it, nerf the base stats. Choose Silver Bracelet, reprisal shield decreased. Come on, man, like, I know shields are strong, but we really don't need that. I guess it's just so that like less Gideons will build it, maybe, because Gideons aren't building health. This probably doesn't affect Narbash too much, but interesting nerf there. Cat Drive, converter stacks to evolve decreased from 20 to... Thank you. 25, man, takes really late into the game to get online, especially if the pace of the game has changed so much. That is really nice. And then Deconstruction Healing, max health scaling decreased from 5 to 4%. Yep. So that's just make it a little bit give it a little bit less healing, but get the stacks online sooner. We'll definitely take that. And then we get a variety of bug fixes. A lot of visual and sound effect bug fixes, it looks like. And that's it. If you've made it this far, thank you for reading. We hope you enjoy the new features, changes, and bug fixes included in this update, and that they enhance the overall predecessor experience. Interesting wording there. In the meantime, we're hard at work preparing for 1.5, aiming to deliver the ultimate predecessor experience. Stay tuned and watch this space. Great, man, great. Very minimal item changes. A couple pretty significant hero changes. Nothing too big. Let me know what you think about them. Let me know if your hero got hit or buffed, and what you think about these changes. I think this is probably a pretty fair balance. It seems like most of the overperforming or easiest to use heroes kind of got very slight nerfs. And then we see some very interesting like visual effect and quality of life changes on someone like Gadget, and stuff like Countess with her indicator being changed, Iggy getting random buffs for some reason, like characters like Bellica getting nerfs but not in the right places. Like none of this is what makes her strong. Like it's the auto attack scaling really that makes her strong. Morgesh getting random changes to Hive. We'll see how all of this pans out. Let me know, like I said in the comments, what you guys think about all this. And just keep enjoying Pred, man. We've been having an awesome time on version 1.4.4. We're heading to version 1.4.5 this coming Tuesday, April 8th at 7 a.m. Looking forward to it. Catch us in the live streams if you want to come talk about the meta or queue some games with us and have some fun. Links in the description to some recent videos we've done. Chimera gameplay, spreadsheet video, which maybe will probably actually come out after this because I want to get this out as soon as possible to you guys. But the spreadsheet video on health and mana scaling is all recorded for the second time because the version 1.4.4 patch changed a few things that I wanted to update. So exciting stuff here. I like the minimap changes. Toxicity, they don't really go into it much, but that's cool. Jungle objectives being harder to take down and later spawning and respawning. I think these are good changes. I really wish that towers got increased damage. Really a shame that they won't give towers increased damage. I know tower diving is fun and exciting, but it shouldn't be a thing for the most part. Look at games like Smite where you really don't see tower diving, and I think people still have a great time with that game. So we will catch you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by, man. It's been fun. Patch notes, this full patch notes page available in the description as well. Come check it out and read through it yourself. And like I said, come hang out with us in the live streams, man. It's where we've been having the most fun. Queue some games with us and just come tell me that I'm terrible at the game or whatever you want to do, man. We'll have a great time and talk about it regardless. So we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for stopping by.